Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and this is the channel where we put you in the know when it comes to the Snowpiercer. We're now at the halfway point of the series, and things are really heating up on board the train as the harsh reality of the icy cold world around them slowly starts to seep into the carriages. Throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know about the latest entry, including our thoughts, theories, and predictions for the future. Obviously, there will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't had a chance to check out episode 5 yet, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. If you enjoyed the video, then please consider subscribing as we do Snowpiercer breakdowns every week, and also drop a thumbs up, because I know you're a really nice person. Now with that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of Snowpiercer episode 5. Okay, so like most entries in the show, episode 5 has a cold opening that shows Layton in the drawer. Kronole is being used to sedate him, and as we've learned throughout the season, this causes hallucinations and visions. Layton is clearly suffering from these, and he sees the tail as well as Nicky J. We learn one of the darkest aspects of Layton's past throughout the episode, and it's clear that he's haunted by what he's done. In the Nightcar, Audrey cries over a picture of Nicky, and throughout the episode it becomes evident that she wants justice for a fallen friend. She's ordering Third to play their part, and it looks like they're slowly starting to rise up against First, similar to the Tail. As we've said so far in our breakdowns, I think that the two sides might actually unite, and then they'll be able to completely overwhelm those higher up the train due to those in First heavily relying on the denser population down the carriages. The imbalance of wealth is also showcased in the imbalance of the population, and it definitely suggests that the next revolution will be led by both Third and the Tail. After the title sequence, LJ is confined to a cell, and she subtly hints that her powerful parents will bring vengeance to the Tail should she be found guilty. The episode rotates heavily around her trial, and rather the injustice that comes from it because of what she knows. LJ is a murderer, but due to her position of power it's overlooked, and she is pardoned for her crimes, even after receiving a guilty verdict. I do believe that this will be the match that lights the flame to spark up the writing that will bring the forces of First toppling down, and it's crazy just how much this show mirrors our world at the moment. I would say that when it was written, it was probably supposed to share a lot of similarities with the Rodney King trial. During that, 4 officers that carried out the attack were acquitted, which sent LA spiraling into riots over the injustice of it. However, in light of recent events, it does feel like it still provides relevant social commentary, and it shows that people will rise up should they feel like the law disregards their oppression. Melanie asks Audrey to stop politicizing things. There's a real back and forth between each side, but overall it amounts to very little, with Melanie still pretty much running things no matter what's said. The outcome of LJ's innocence almost reminds me of that time that everyone said that one guy should resign but he didn't, because he probably has a lot of dirt on the Prime Minister, a bit like LJ and Melanie, but never mind. Elsewhere in the episode, Bess is getting a new access chip from Jinju as part of their relationship. This must be the Snowpiercer equivalent of a marriage visa, but I actually think it hints at what's to come. Clearly Bess is very sympathetic towards the plight of the Tail, and it may even be her that grants them access to the higher ends of the vehicle when they carry out the revolt. She's sort of playing both sides throughout this episode, and I think that she becomes the wild card on the train that will bring it all crashing down. In the Folgers car, LJ doesn't seem to be taking things seriously, and she even sucks on her father's false eye, which, what the hell, no wonder she's messed up. Symbolically though, I think it shows her father is blind to what his daughter is truly capable of. We learn that it was LJ that caused this gross bodily harm to him, and still he was unable to see her for what she truly was. Her mother actually seems to be aware of what she did, however, Father Folger just acts like nothing's going on. He wishes to protect her no matter what, and you get the feeling that if she's found guilty, it's clear that things will go badly for Melanie, which puts her in a vulnerable position. In protest to the way that things are going, the Nightcar send up a serving of cockroaches to First, and they're completely aghast over it. Whilst this is a terrible thing to feed someone, we actually know that the Tail has often served this through the form of protein blocks. In the film we learned that the meals were actually crushed insects, and seeing it here to me metaphorically shows that the Tail are willing to return unto them the same treatment that they've suffered with for years. The episode is very much laced with the feeling that there should be an eye for an eye, and whether you disagree with that statement or not, there's definitely a feeling that things can't continue the way they are. In the absence of Layton being a character in this episode, Third very much show that they can control everything should they wish to, and Melanie really struggles with the balance of power in this entry. Audrey demands that a member of Third be put onto the tribunal, and Melanie sort of goes back and forth over whether this should happen. To me, this shows that it's unfair that people who decide the laws are often the ones that aren't really affected by them. It's easy for First to agree to making the tail eat cockroaches, as it's something that they'll never experience. However, when it is brought to them, they act in horror, highlighting their hypocrisy. Melanie and Bennett get it on, and it's clear that the two have an on and off relationship. They remember life before the train and how they miss things, and though it's not the level of the pandemic, it did kind of make me nostalgically look back on just how lucky we were to be able to go out and do things we wanted to this time last year. Life has changed a lot, and though it will hopefully go back to normal soon, I find that it's becoming a lot easier to relate to people trapped on a 1001 call long train than I ever thought was possible. Melanie finally accepts the petition for a member of Third to be part of the trial, which puts the Folgers in danger as they no longer have a complete jury that's on their side. However, due to the pardon, this ultimately proves to be meaningless, and it reminds us of the illusion of power that we're often given. Mr. Fleming is called up top, and he gets to see some of the finer things in life. Ruth is angered by the papermaker's appointment, and it seems like she's slowly starting to question her idea of Wilford. As we know, Melanie has been masquerading as him, and I think her suspicions are slowly starting to mount after this conversation. Earlier in the season, Commander Gray also twigged that something was off with him due to his speech, and I think that more and more, as we get into it, people are becoming aware of the truth. Josie continues to sneak up the train on her break in order to find out what's actually happened to Layton, and she ends up visiting the janitor, and the truth about the character's captivity starts to circulate. With the help of the janitor, she breaks into the prison car and frees him, and I'll talk about it later in the episode, but the ramifications of this are very important and you have to be aware of them. The trial happens in the first class car, and I know it wasn't intentional, but I did find this a bit funny. I mean, the train's meant to have 1001 cars, and we literally seem to be visiting the same 7 over and over. I'm just playing, guys. I know you have a tight budget, but yeah, it would be nice to see another car once in a while. Anyway, the evidence is very clear, and the smoking guns, or rather severed penises, were all found in LJ's room, which only she has access to, so it becomes clear that she was the one in control and carrying out the crimes. Audrey cries out that justice must be done, but on a system that's as corrupt as Snowpiercer, it's difficult to truly deliver this when things are this unfair. When she's on the stand, LJ hints that she knows some of Wilford's secrets, and she pretty much says that if she's brought to justice, then these will all come out. LJ is found guilty on all counts, however, as we know, the system is only built one way, and thus Bennett sends a pardon under the guise of Wilford. In a panic, Melanie spares her, and Josie awakens Layton. He starts to convulse, and this is due to the Kronole being unplugged from him too quickly. Earlier in the episode, we learned that patients had to be taken off it slowly, and this may end up leading towards Layton being compromised mentally in the future entries. Obviously, he hasn't been on it for that long, but still, the psychedelic effects will likely carry over into other parts of the season, I think. Bess discovers Josie and Layton in a drawer, and even turns on a co-worker in order to cover for them. She's seen the corruption firsthand, and once more I think that things are being set up in a certain way in which she will aid the tale. Josie takes Layton to Zora whilst he recovers, and he'll likely hide out until he gets a grip on things. The episode culminates with LJ clearly hinting that she'll be keeping things quiet as a thank you for Wilford, or rather Melanie, but that she is a ticking time bomb that must be dealt with. Who knows, the Folgers may even end up in the drawers themselves, but it's becoming clear that Melanie is living on borrowed time. Bess goes to see if the other brakeman she was with is still lying in the drawer room, but he's gone, and finally we get the truth about what Layton and the tail have had to do to survive. They ate a heart and partook in cannibalism, and to me, this eating of one another ties in with the phrase eat the rich. This is something that's been paid lip service to in the show, and though they're not feeding on a rich person here, it's clear that they're willing to. Eat the rich is an abbreviation of a saying attributed to Jean-Jacques Rousseau, which says when the poor have nothing more to eat, they will eat the rich. Clearly the tail are willing to do anything, and this repressed memory coming back for Layton will likely drive him to rise up once more. I don't think they'll be eating those up the train, but clearly they will be going against them, and this episode is laced with motifs that hint towards a coming revolution. Everything is slowly falling into place, and who knows, next time we might even get the uprising playing out. Overall, this was another excellent entry, and so far I think the show has been phenomenal. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 5th episode and what your theories are. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our breakdown of the series so far and our discussion of Spike Lee's film The Five Bloods. If you want to support the channel from as little as 99 cents a month, then please click the join button below. We massively appreciate it, and as a thank you, you get access to content early. If you want to come chat to us after the show, either follow us at Heavy Spoilers or click the Discord link in the description below. Those are the best ways to keep up to date with the channel, and hopefully we see you over there very soon.